Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Here we are again in the product testing shed. The reason for today's video is I don't know how many people live around the Gulf Coast, but the weather here is just, it's absolutely miserable over the last couple of weeks. Today we've got some blue skies, but there's a lot of wind, and there's a lot of fresh water in the bays and stuff. I went out last week into the marsh in Waveland, and the water was totally fresh. I didn't even get a bite, so you can pretty much see how the wind's blowing over there. Not really good fishing conditions. So I'm going to use this opportunity to do a product review, and it's on my old friend, the Power Pole. So as some of you know, if you watch my other videos, I've had a lot of problems with these. And what I did recently, about a week ago, was I sent Power Pole in under warranty. And what happened was, instead of getting a Power Pole like this, I'll just call this version 1 and this version 2. I sent in a version 1 and they sent me a version 2. So I haven't fooled with this thing. So you guys are gonna kind of walk through it with me as I go through the things that I notice about it and the operation. I'm going to compare version 1, version 2 with range, and see what they're sitting at. Hopefully Power Pole has listened to the consumers. I know that they got to get a ton of these things in on return because they break so much. So hopefully they've listened to the consumers and improved the product. So from the old Power Pole to the new Power Pole, the first thing that I notice is that the unit is taller. It's about ½ an inch taller than the old unit. The top is different. Instead of just sublam markings, they've went in and actually cut or molded the design into the actual frame of the micro anchor itself. So the second thing that I noticed is that the buttons are now raised and they're silicone, and the LED buttons are also silicone also. So I'm not really sure how that's going to affect water, because there's a circuit board underneath here. So I'm not sure how it's going to affect the water, because I mean, a silicone button is not waterproof. So hopefully there's some kind of waterproofing underneath here to where when the top of this thing gets wet, it's not going to affect it. All right, now the second thing that I noticed was that both the V2 and the V1, they both accept the same battery bracket. So don't worry about the battery bracket. The V2 takes the old battery bracket that's mounted here on the side and accepts the rechargeable battery. All right, the next thing that I noticed is that the top here, because it's taller, it's got a little bit more of a deeper protective area. I call it a protective area because if you look at this one and you look at this one, if you see this gap right here, that gap right there is what I think the downfall of Power Pole is, these Power Poles. Because if you've ever seen one of these things apart, I've never taken one of these apart, but I've gone to YouTube channels where they were apart. Basically what you've got is you've got a circuit board right here, okay? It's attached to by a ribbon cable to a circuit board that runs this way. So that's the main brain right there. Sits right here. Okay, now you got the shaft that comes down, and then you've got a little area right here where the motor sits, and the motor is basically just a low speed high torque motor. It's kind of like a drill, and that motor runs 2 wheels. There's a wheel right here and there's a wheel right here, and the power pole basically goes, or the spike basically goes down here, and these two wheels move this pole up and down through this shaft opening. So basically what I think is happening with these power poles is they tell you to run water through the hole for, I think it's like 13 to 15 seconds. So you're spraying water down into this hole for 13 to 15 seconds while you're moving the wheels up, and then you're moving the wheels down, and that's to clean mud out of this lower unit where these wheels are turning. But unfortunately what happens is this gap right here between this top housing and this top wiper seal, that gap is open, and what happens is water goes into the unit, and depending on how you turn it or hold it or handle it, the water that goes into this crack goes down into the little chamber where the motor is housed, and it can get in here too and create humidity. And you've got a bare circuit board right here, and you've got a bare circuit board right here. So I think that's one of the big major problems with the power pole, is that water gets into the actual unit itself, and especially salt water. Salt water pretty much ruin anything. If you had a trailer, you know, anything salt water touches, it ruins. So when you flush these power poles out, if you use them a lot, you're getting water inside the unit. And I've actually turned the unit that I sent in and got this one for, I actually was handling it one day, and I turned it this way, and then I turned it back up, and through this gap here at the bottom, rusty water was coming out. So if rusty water is coming out, then that means that the salt water is contacting metal inside the micro driver, the micro spike driver, and it's rusting components. And the other one that I sent in, it was because the motor was locked up. So probably what happened was when I was flushing it, water went in through that gap, pulled into the little pocket where the motor is held, and seized the motor up. The motor went underwater, and it rusted and seized up. So I'll show you a little workaround to that I came up with a little while ago. But let's go ahead and hook this thing up, or hook these up, and we're going to go ahead and test the range on them. All right, everybody, we've got version 1 hooked up and ready to go. The green LED go light is flashing, so we're going to go ahead and do what's called the calibration on it. You press the anchor force button and battery levels one time, and it runs through a calibration cycle where it weighs your spike, I guess determining whether it's a hollow spike or a solid spike, and it kind of configures the program inside to tell what kind of anchor force you're going to need to drive the spike down. So let's go ahead and do it. And this procedure here, I've seen it last a long time, and I've seen it last a short period of time, and it should put the spike down just a little bit more, which it hasn't been doing. So after the cycle where it calibrates, it should put the spike down about 3 inches, but it hasn't done it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the spike down to where we can see the bottom of the spike. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back, and we're going to see how far we got to get to this thing before it actually starts listening. And I know it looks weird, I look like a rapper, I guess, but I've got a bunch of fobs here, and the green boat fob and the white fob is for the V1. The black and orange fob is for the V2, and the V2 boat controller also comes with orange buttons, just like the necklace fob. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try to trigger this thing and see how close we got to get for it to work. So I'm going to hit the down button. Nope. 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 Oh, there it goes. All right, I hit the down twice, which means set the anchor, and it only went down one time. So let me try to hit it again. Okay, it only went down one time. I'm telling the anchor to set into the mud, so it's already failing. Let me get a little bit closer. Now it's not doing anything. Okay, there we go. All right, that's how close I got to be for the V1 to actually obey the command. So I'm going to take my reference point, which is this bush right here. Get my tape measure, come back to this bush, now we got to be within 6.5 feet of it to function. All right, so what we're going to do, it's already down, it's already set. We're going to come back and we're going to run the test on the up cycle. Nope. 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 Okay, there we go. We got a little bit more range on the up cycle, but it only went up a little bit, which it's supposed to go up all the way. So let's take another step. Okay, again it failed. Another step. Didn't do anything. Another step. All right, there, it obeyed the command. So we had to get within 5.5 feet of it. Okay, and after it got done cycling up all the way, the spike went down a little bit, which is what it's supposed to do after a calibration cycle. So we're talking 5.5 feet here. So if I'm fishing at the front of my boat, we're talking about 12 feet. Okay, so basically if you're fishing from the front of your boat at 12 feet, the power pole is absolutely useless. You have to be right here to operate this power pole. So that's in the middle of the boat. So if you want to fish out of the middle of your boat, then you're golden. But if you want to fish out of the front of your boat and operate this power pole, it's just not going to work. And that's one of my biggest complaints with what I would call the version 1 model. All right, everybody, a boat switch test. No. Nope. 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 Boat switch test version 1. Nope. 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 All right. Just totally not listening to the boat switch whatsoever. So as you can tell, this thing's basically brand new. I really haven't used it that much, but this thing has controlled this power pole in the past, but it's totally ignoring it now, whereas the fob, it works with the fob. Okay, so back up. Let's use our bush as reference. Down. Okay, it's malfunctioning. I hit down twice. It's supposed to go all the way down. It hasn't. All right, hit up all the way. It's supposed to go all the way up, and it hasn't. So totally fail with the boat switch, and listening to the fob at about 5.5 feet. So not good for the V1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, version 1 with the Sea Monster app. All right, so basically I'm using my Galaxy S9 Plus to try to control this power pole. Okay, all right, V1 is working at the same distance that the fob works for V2. Okay, so I mean, that's a good thing in that you can actually control the power pole, and there it goes up all the way up again and then resets down about 2 or 3 inches the way it's supposed to. It's a good thing that you can control the V1 with your phone when both fobs don't work, or the fobs have such a small range that it's ridiculous. But I've done this like 2 trips already, and it is a hassle to pull your cell phone out and wake up your cell phone and go to this app and push up or down every single time you want to operate this power pole. So a really big nuisance. I emailed JL Marine, the makers of power pole, and I'm trying to get this one warranted for a week, transmitter. So hopefully I can get it warranted and get another version too, because this thing here is, even though you can control it with the Sea Monster app and on your phone, it's impractical to do. All right, everybody, version 2 is hooked up. Let's go ahead and run the calibration cycle. It looks like pretty much the same calibration cycle. Okay, is it done? All right, it looks like it's done. So when I first bought these version 1 power poles, after I finished the calibration cycle, it brought the spike down about 3 inches. So it has not done that. The spike is loose inside the power pole. So let's go ahead and bring it down. 1 punch. And we're going to see how far we got to go to get this thing to work. All right, I have a range finder on me too, so we're going to give it a good benefit of the doubt. So we're going to come way back here and see what's up. All right, guys, the spike driver just went down, and it went down all the way and set. We're pretty far away from this boat. All right, let's get even further away from the boat. All right, I just hit the up button and the spike has gone up. All right, let's get even further away. I guess this, being this far away, I guess is if your boat floats away, you can actually stop your boat from floating off while you swim to it. All right, hit the down button. All right, y'all, already a very impressive range. So where I am right now is I'm 23 yards away from it, which is exceptional range. So either they have improved the transmitter in the fob, or they have improved the receiver in the power pole unit, or they have done both. But that is very impressive range. I'm not really I really don't even need to go that much further because it'd be impractical. There's no reason for me to try to operate this power pole being that far away from the boat. So at the front of the boat now, I'm gonna move to the side, hit the up button. All right, and it is up. And when it went to the top, it sensed that it was at the top, and it set the spike down a little bit, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. So already a lot better and impressive range. So I'm hoping that this new power pole version is not going to give me any problems. All right, everybody, this is the boat mounted operating switch for the power pole V2. So let's see what it does. All right, works very well at least the range that the fob was working. So let's hit it again. All right, so power pole version V2 is a go with the boat mounted switch. Sea Monster app with the power pole version 2. All right, let's give it a down command. It is going down. Very good. It went through the anchoring cycle. All right, let's hit up. All right, power pole version 2 Sea Monster app test is a go. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I hooked up. I'm going to hook up the V1 again because it's got a little bit of caked mud in the bottom, because you really can't wash it all out in the wiper seals. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the V1, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to flush these things from now on to try to prevent water from getting into the internal organs of this thing and messing up the circuit boards. All right, this is what I came up with to flush this power pole. I racked my brain trying to figure out how you can flush this thing without getting water into the actual casing itself, which happens when it goes through this little crack right here. So I toyed with the idea of just getting a hose and sticking it down there, but a lot of the hoses, the diameter is too large. So what I came up with was, I went to Walmart and I got a wand sprayer. This basically used to be curved and a little bit longer, and it had the attachment at the end. So what I did was I took the attachment off, cut off about 1 inch, and wound up with just a tube. So if you see how this thing works, it basically just sprays, and with the length of it, you can stick it down there past that opening to where water will get in and out of this internal part, and it's operating. So what you do is you set this in there, you turn it on, and then you operate for your 13 or 15 seconds in each direction. The power pole flushes while the top, where water goes in to mess with these circuit boards and stuff, is completely dry. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much a rinse cycle for the power pole as recommended by the manufacturer. So we can go ahead and just turn the water off, let the excess drain out of the attachment, and there we go with a more or less dry upper wiper seal. This the power pole's got 2 wiper seals. It's got one on the bottom to stop the mud. It's got one on the top to stop the mud. You can see that the wiper seal is right here, and that crack that the water goes into is above it. So it does a pretty good job stopping mud and dirt from going up in there, but it does not do anything to stop water from going in there. So hopefully with this little fix, we can go ahead and make both of our power poles last a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, watch some of my other videos and decide whether you like what I do or not. And if you do, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Help me out. I found out about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that YouTube was putting ads on my videos. So I guess they updated their terms of use last year to where they can put ads on your videos and make money from your videos with people viewing them by running ads, and cut you out of it. So help me stick it to the man. Hit the subscribe button, and until next time, y'all, we'll see you on the water.